guys, Nick Reviews Movies here, and today I'm ranking all 7 DCEU movies. So let's get into it. So, in last place I have put down The Suicide Squad. I know many people who do enjoy this movie, but I just don't. Yeah, I like Harley Quinn, I like Dceu, and most of the time I do like El Diablo. And I like how they started off the Joker, kind of. Okay, don't get me wrong, I like how they started off the Joker, but the fact that he didn't get to be the main villain in the film kind of put me off. Well, it did. And, well, for the rest of the Suicide Squad, they were just really forgettable. Especially Rick Flag. Like, I know there was that plotline which involved the Enchantress in him, but apart from that, I don't really see any other reason to have him in the film. You know that bar sequence where they're all like talking about being the Suicide Squad and coming back? Yeah, his lines just felt really forced and I didn't like it. And then there's the major villain problem. I just didn't like Enchantress and her brother, and I thought Joker would have been so much better. Overall, this movie had tons of potential but just couldn't live up to it. Next up in 6th place is the Justice League. Now, if you want to watch a very annoying film that had so much potential, I recommend Justice League, to be fair. One of the best comic book teams of all time were finally put on the big screen in this live-action team-up event. Unfortunately, it was crap. Just joking, that's not the end. Now, for one major thing, I really didn't like the Superman resurrection. I know everyone knew that he would be back, but I just don't like it. And also, Cyborg doesn't really get a good enough storyline for us to understand him, and it just doesn't work. So, yeah, the way they did Superman's resurrection, how he came back and was a villain for a couple seconds, was absolutely idiotic. Yeah, this film was really boring at times and the story development of the heroes just wasn't that good, but that's not my main problem. This guy was the problem. Now, he's probably the most boring supervillain ever, and he's a generic space conqueror. He is just so boring and generic and predictable. Now, next up we have Batman vs Superman in 5th place. Now, I see what this film was trying to do is it was setting up a Justice League film. And at times it was okay doing that. But by far the best part about this is Batman. Yeah, in this film he is a lot like Punisher with his machine guns and stuff. But I really like his action sequences. The film is also so long, and it doesn't have to be. It gets really tedious and boring at times. Anyway, let's move away from that. Up in 4th place is Man of Steel, the film that started the DCEU. Now, I genuinely just don't really like Superman, which is why it's not in 3rd. It would have been, but Superman's just way too overpowered for me. But there's no doubt in my mind that the best thing about this film is Zod, the villain. What a character. The cast for this film, especially Zod, is really good, and that leads to a really good boss fight with Zod and Superman at the end. So, going into the top 3, we have Aquaman. Now, this film was such a nice, fresh change for the DCEU. It was so different to what we've already had, and they just upped the fun, and it was more funny. At times, that comedy was cringy, like the pee joke, and it just ran out of flavour. But most of the time, it was pretty good. And also, the first fight scene on the submarine was awesome. However, this film was really similar to Black Panther, which obviously came out in February of the same year. Despite this, I still really like this film, and especially the villains with King Orm. And even though he's only a side villain, I do really like Black Manta, and I think he was one of the best villains in the DCEU. Now, in second place is Wonder Woman. No one thought that this film could work as well at all, let alone as well as it did. Paddy Jenkins really did an awesome job, and Gal Gadot, or however you pronounce it, was amazing as Wonder Woman. Also, Chris Pine as Steve Trevor was awesome, and because of how well him and Gal Gadot did on the screen together, his last moments as Steve Trevor were awesome and emotional. But yeah, this film really was incredible, and I really recommend watching it if you haven't already. However, the third act of this film and Ares as a villain isn't the best, although I do like Dr. Poison. But as most of you would have guessed, in first place is Shazam. This film is absolutely incredible. Now, I'm not going to say too much because I'm pretty sure it was my last video that I did a review on this, so go check that out if you want to know more. But yeah, this film was really funny. It was really exciting, and it was really good for what most people were expecting. Asher Angel and Zachary Levi really did seem like the same character as Billy Batson and Shazam. And having Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddy just made this film a whole lot funnier and more exciting. So yeah, that is the end of my DCEU ranking. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time. Bye!